Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me today. So today's spirit message, just came through loud and clear. I saw and heard, I've actually been hearing it for 2 days. You are not defenseless. You are not defenseless. So, and before I go on, please stay till the end. I have a little announcement at the very end. And of course, please, if this video is useful to you, please click like, subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of my videos, and it helps it be more visible to other people as well. So, you are not defenseless, and pardon me, I really just wrote this as it came, and I'm going to mostly just be reading it. You are not defenseless. You are a powerful creator. You have come here to come awake to the realization that you are a powerful creator and to help others come awake to themselves as powerful creators. And guys, that's especially true if you're watching this, because if you're watching this and clicking on other things like it, you are one of the light workers. You are one of the awakened collective, whether you even feel that way or know it or not yet. You are, and you are here to help others awaken as well. As creators, we are choosers. All of the versions of the earth, what's going on in your country, the world, all of the versions of where and what humanity is in its collective vibration, in its evolution. All versions exist right now in the infinite present. And we are now at a point where we realize that, and we realize that we are not at the mercy of things happening to us, but that we can and must consciously choose which version to inhabit and experience. Once we know we can choose consciously, we start creating our reality consciously, deliberately. Once you know you have a choice, you have a choice. Once you know what's, not only hear what's going on, but actually sense and feel it and are aware of it, now you can't not choose. Now you know you have a responsibility. You can't feel like a victim anymore to things happening to you, because you know here in your heart mind that you are choosing which version to vibrate with. Once we know we can choose consciously, we start creating our reality consciously and deliberately. And we'll share our version, that version of reality, with others who also vibrate with that version. So you aren't defenseless. You're not at the mercy of terrible cataclysms or who's in office and whether or not their policies and actions are going to benefit you or make your life rougher. You get to choose. You get to choose how it goes. For you, important, and for your world. I'll say that again. You get to choose how it goes for you and for the world that you inhabit. I'll let that sink in for a moment. And I knew I would need to put this in, and now's the time. Bashar put something beautifully on a YouTube I watched the other day. He reminded us, pointed out, that all versions of this ascension and humanity exist now in the infinite present. There's a version of humanity that never knew war, that was always a peaceful species. There's a version of humanity that was and is very warlike. And there's everything in between. There's a version of humanity that knew war in days long, long past and evolved up and out of it, so that we're aware that it was a possibility and has been chosen against, has been chosen otherwise. So all versions exist. All versions of all of the cataclysmic volcanic and seismic activity, the floods, the solar flares, the political upheaval, all of the and the questions about the economy, all of those catastrophic possibilities, for instance, the 3 days of darkness. I mean, you hear all kinds of things going around. We choose which version to inhabit and experience. So as the Arcturians have said, we can choose the timeline that's gentler and easier on us, or we can choose to experience the timeline that is rougher and more traumatic and filled with struggle and suffering. And they're all versions of the earth and the species that exist. There's not, this needs to be understood. There's not one. They all exist. They're all real. It's which one do you want to vibrate in and inhabit and experience? And whichever one you do experience, you and others like you who are vibrating in that create that new world. So you aren't at the mercy of terrible cataclysms. You are not defenseless. You're not at the mercy of who's in office and whether they benefit you or make your life rougher. You get to choose how it goes for you and your world, the world that you inhabit. So, sit quietly, center in your high heart chakra. That's the very center of where you're really connected to your divine source self. And remind yourself, I am God consciousness, experiencing myself and my potentials as me, Kathy, Sue, Joseph, what your name. I am God consciousness, experiencing myself and my potentials as me. I am a powerful creator, and I have the responsibility to choose which version of things I accept for myself and my world that I experience. As Seth once wrote, we come here to learn to create responsibly. Once we realize that we are choosing out of all these versions vibrationally that exist, again, they're not theoretical, they exist. Once we realize that, then we realize we are creating our own reality and worlds, co-creating with others by vibrating with that same version. And I will remind you all that timelines, they do interweave and in and out constantly. And so even if it looked for a minute like we got onto a negative or a hijacked, I mean, gosh, you hear all kinds of things. Timeline doesn't matter. We always have the ability to weave back into, oh yes, we got off track for a minute. It seemed like we did, but we learned from it. And this is the version I'd like to experience going forward. For me personally, this just keeps hitting home deeper, deeper, richer, richer. I'm ready, really ready, not just theoretically. Now that I really understand I'm ready to go to the version where everyone just easily and in love and peace just moves into the new higher dimension of humanity and the world with minimal, really minimal, terrible, traumatic struggle and trauma and drama. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share for today. And I did do that first weekly spirit talk. It went an hour long, and it was very much on this topic, a related topic, which is how to receive the gifts in every experience, even the experiences that feel rather negative and not what we would have preferred. It's all about that, and we covered so many other things. The earth split, how I personally channel, just so many things that I did post it to my Patreon page. It is free to the public, so you don't have to be a member of my Patreon community. You just go to my Patreon page, Kathy Hazel Adams, Quantum Spirit, and click on that post, and you can watch that video and see what you think. So have a wonderful, magical day. Beloveds. I'm just seeing beloveds, beloveds. Blessings.